Hi, everybody. Good to be with you this evening. It's Thursday evening. I had to think of what day it is. That's what happens when you work the morning show. But good to be with you guys. It's meteorologist Matt Wintz. We have obviously a severe weather threat this evening. I'll let you know kind of what the rundown is that in terms of timing of that and what we're expecting in terms of, is it going to be bad? What are we expecting? Is it not going to be bad? We'll talk about that. Okay. Couple operational things. We did not do a live Sunday evening because I was in full upgrade mode of the weather center here. I grew kind of tired of things lagging every now and then. So we have a complete overhaul of everything. Everything, it probably doesn't look much different, but things are running fast now. And I'm telling you, we're not looking back. I got a lot of new hardware to make things go lickety split. And we are capable of a lot more things here. Streaming radar, everything. It's really exciting. So from a technology standpoint, things are good, and you guys are covered from here on out. There's not going to be any lag or anything like that. So I'm really happy about that. So I appreciate you guys being patient with me as we did some upgrades here. I actually didn't have an ability to stream with all the boxes and stuff I had in here. So we're good to go now. But anyway, that's that. What else did I have to cover? I feel like there's something else. We have something new that I'm probably going to announce tomorrow. I want to wait until the storm threat's over. But something new that's going to help you guys out that we kind of came up with here, and I'm going to announce that soon. So that's exciting. Can't really say much more about that. I think that's it. Operationally. As always, the sponsors up above get a bonus broadcast out of this. So please support them. They're all local to Northwest Indiana. FBIbuildings.com. They do amazing work. Check out their Facebook page if you can. They construct and reconstruct pole barns. And they're on so many projects right now. They're just amazing. It's just cool to look at. It's FBIbuildings.com. If you have any questions around Medicare, Medicaid, life insurance, do I need it? Do I not? Do I have too much of it? Am I paying too much for that? This day and age, you don't want to be paying too much for anything, right? Minogue.life is the website to go. Michael Minogue's been serving that area with his expertise for decades. And he's helped a lot of you out with that. Minogue.life. PSA, that's our public service adjusters. If you're still dealing with any storm damage or any insurance claims on your property, go ahead and go to publicserviceadjusting.com first. They will be the kind of go-between between you and your insurance agency, and they'll get you more money than you normally get. So publicserviceadjusting.com. Ewing Mechanical Services, it's ewingmech.com for any of your HVAC needs. If your AC needs tuned up, if you're looking to get a head start on the furnace, for winter season, I hate to say that, but if that happens to be the case, they'll do it for you. From installing new air conditioners to just giving you a quick tune-up for $69 out the door. Ewing MECH, the place to go. TigerPlumbing.net. Those are our favorite plumbers here in Northwest Indiana. They gave me some cool stats, which I'll share with you on Sunday. Just about plumbers in general, how there's just not a lot of plumbers and there's not a lot of female plumbers out there. They are hiring licensed plumbers right now. TigerPlumbing.net. They're fun to work for. They're fun to just talk to, let alone get the plumbing job done. TigerPlumbing.net. Finally, Grieger's Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Valparaiso. They've been serving Northwest Indiana for years in Valpo off of Route 30 there. They've got brand new Jeeps on the lot ready to go. Grieger's Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. All right, let's say hi to our early birds here. On this Thursday evening as we get ready for the weekend. Can you guys feel it? Oh, it has been such a long week. I had to work last Saturday, and so I did the Monday through Friday, then a Saturday, and then barely had a day off before doing mornings again. And that would be fine if I did evenings, because evenings, time wise, at least you're getting sleep. But I'm telling you, I am dead to the world right now after doing 11 out of 12 mornings and getting up at 2 a.m. I need a nap. So if I say anything weird or if I sound like I'm not making sense, it's just because I need sleep. Okay. Just want to get that out there. Andrew, good evening to you. DZ, thanks for joining us on our YouTube channel. Hi, Carol. Linda's with us. Chrissy's with us as well. Sage yourself. Hello. Thanks for joining us on YouTube as well. And Sage Yourself says we need rain-free Sunday for the Gary Air Show. Things looking pretty good for that. We've been tracking that on the radio side of things last couple mornings in terms of timing it out, trying to get things dry for the Gary Air Show. We look okay on Sunday. I think things are going to clear up in time. That's the good news. Derek says nothing too big this morning, 0.14 in the Cedar Lake area. Yeah, not much going on this morning. We had those showers around, everything kind of fading, but we did get some rain. It was steady rain for some. That's good. Let's see. Reedmo's with us. Jill. Good evening to you, Susan. Lynn, no problem. I'm stalling because I'm letting a lot of people join that are in the middle of dinner right now. Nick, hi. Thanks for joining us, buddy. Janet, you're welcome. Adrian's hoping for some storms. Hi, Laura. Jeff's with us. Justin's with us. And that's awesome. And Jeff asks for a chair and a cup of coffee. That's awesome. That's all you need, Jeff. That's pretty easy. Okay. All right. I think we got the whole family here. Darlene, thanks for joining us. I appreciate that. All right, let's get to it because I don't want to waste any more of your time. I do want to make sure everyone gets this information. So I'm going to start big picture across the country right now. This is what we're dealing with. A lot going on. Behind the Region Weather Live logo over here is Eduardo. Hurricane at this point. We'll talk about that in a second because that does impact our weather locally, believe it or not. But here's what we're dealing with locally. Big area of low pressure in the northern plains. You see the swirl around it. And what we had with this big line of clouds right here, that was our morning activity. That was our morning rain that moved through. And we still have a lot of clouds. We have not broken into full-on sunshine. And really, they haven't all the way back towards the Quad Cities. So we've been kind of locked in the clouds today. And personally, I think that's going to play a role on our severe weather chances tonight. Quick update on Ernesto. Winds are at 85 right now. This is expected to become perhaps a major hurricane and travel near Bermuda. That is going to be on Saturday. All right, Saturday morning. Bermuda gets hit with a lot of hurricanes. I mean, they're literally a target in the middle of the Atlantic. Not usually directly. Bermuda is also elevated, so it can withstand bigger waves than a lot of the islands can out in the Caribbean. But that being said, they're going to get hit with a pretty decent storm as it looks right now. That storm system is going to stay offshore from the United States. It's going to cause large waves and swells up and down the eastern seaboard. So if, travel plans there this weekend, perhaps you'll encounter problems there. But what Eduardo is going to do is go north. And remember, we've talked about it before. Tropical systems are strong areas of low pressure, and they kind of rule the atmosphere. So as Eduardo, let me just go back to that. As Eduardo heads north, everything has to wait and kind of pause off towards the west. So that means our low pressure that's moving through is going to be a little bit slower than it normally would. Normally, this would probably last 2 days, but instead it's going to last 3 days because it's going to slow down as it waits for Eduardo to head off towards Ernesto. Why am I saying Eduardo? I took Spanish for like 14 years, so there's that. Ernesto. Oh, my goodness. See, it's one of those tired things again. You guys understand, whatever this system's named, it's a hurricane and it's going to head up and everything has to wait for it back towards the west. And so our system's going to linger for a day or so. And so, does it clear out Sunday for the air show? I do think it does, but we'll see what happens. But in the near term, we had all that rain around this morning. That was actually the warm frontal boundary. We still have some lingering clouds with some peaks out there. But what we're watching is this area out towards the west. They've had sunshine in Iowa, and that's where we're expecting the secondary round of storms to develop back in areas of Iowa and Missouri. We're starting to see kind of the beginning of this. You can see this storm right here was not severe when I started the broadcast. I could recheck, but I would imagine it's approaching severe limits. And then these are severe down towards Missouri. These are expected to continue to kind of develop and multiply a little bit. All right. So we're going to see more widespread coverage out here. And I was just tracking it out. If this indeed is what develops into what we're expecting tonight, this is about 245 miles away. And give or take a couple miles per hour, I'm expecting it to move around 40 miles per hour. So bottom line, if something develops out towards our west, that does not get into northwest Indiana until around midnight or so. All right. It's 6 o'clock right now, 6 hours out. You do the math, 240 miles, divided by 4 is, 240 divided by 40 is 6 hours or so. Again, give or take half hour either side, but that puts it in here around midnight. All right. So these aren't going to arrive this evening. If you've got evening plans, I'm not anticipating severe weather this evening. Okay. This is going to be an overnight issue. Okay. If this really gets going, which I do think it will. But a couple things I want to show on here. All right. I want to throw on the CAPE. Okay. This is always something that I use to forecast severe weather. You can tell basically what CAPE is. If you're unfamiliar, we talk about it all the time for those that are regulars, but those that aren't. CAPE is convective available potential energy. Big words, I know, but basically it's how much energy is in the atmosphere, all right, to produce lift and to have buoyancy and to be able to produce big thunderstorms. And what prevents CAPE from developing are clouds and showers, all right? what helps Cape to develop is a lot of sunshine and high humidity and instability, right? And so we've had clouds all day and we don't have any instability right now. I know it's humid outside, but there's not a lot of instability. It's really low. You see with the purples here. Where it starts to pick up is back where they've had the sunshine today, which is basically Quad Cities west into areas where these storms are developing. So these storms are getting going in an atmosphere that is really primed right now. And what's going to be happening is this area of higher Cape is going to start moving in our direction, but it's not going to be quite as high as it is right now. And so what I'm expecting this line to do, I do think it'll start to get going on radar. All right. And I think we'll get a pretty good line that develops. There'll be severe weather. You'll see warnings in Iowa, probably Missouri, and even Western Illinois. But as is often the case, these storms, in my mind, are going to start to weaken as they move into Northwest Indiana. All right. And I'm not overly concerned with a severe weather chance tonight. Okay. And that's tough to say as a meteorologist when Storm Prediction Center and a lot of models are showing otherwise. But I think they've overdone the Cape here locally. So let's dive into it. This is what Storm Prediction Center is saying. They have a slight risk or a 2 out of 5. And it includes basically all of Northwest Indiana. The cutoff's pretty much Porter County, but we don't need to do lines with this. It doesn't matter. It's a trend that matters. And notice much of Illinois is under slight risk. I agree with that, but man, I would probably cut that off a little bit earlier. That's just my opinion. Tornado risk is there with these. The highest tornado risk is west. You see how everything kind of cuts off on us? There's your wind risk. So a little bit higher wind risk from these. And that is the primary threat is going to be damaging winds. If we do get severe weather, that tornado risk, again, it's there. It's not zero, but it's not super high. And then your hail risk, most of the hail looks west as well, but we still have a chance for it. So let's take you through the modeling and then I'll answer your questions. This is what the models are saying. I'm going to take you through two because they're both a little bit different. And I like aspects of each. So this is the HER model, and you notice it's got pretty good initiation. It's got those storms developing kind of as they are right now, and you can see how they really start to get going over the next couple hours, all right? The Missouri activity is going to combine with the Iowa activity, and it'll form kind of a larger line that, in segments. And so as we go through time, we get some pop-ups out ahead of it, all right? It's a couple downpours, nothing severe with that, but we could pop some downpours out ahead of it. There's good lift coming in with this wave. And then watch how these storms are pretty big out towards our west. All right, this is around midnight-ish. And then as we get into 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, that's when the HER brings these through. And it brings through a decent line, but it's not like huge. All right, this would be a lot of heavy rain. There'd be maybe some embedded pockets of stronger wind. There'd be some good lightning with this as well. And then that whole line goes through. And we've got a fairly quiet morning rush hour tomorrow. All right. Still warm and muggy outside. And then what we would do is we'd stay dry for much of the day tomorrow. And then by evening, the low pressure portions approaching. And we'd likely kick off some thunderstorms. A lot of them would be out over the lake. And I agree with that. It's going to be closer to the low. So more storms tomorrow. And then here's Saturday where the low's still here and we'd have more pop-ups. Most of these storm chances next couple days are really hinging on the evening, okay, afternoon and evening, okay? So mornings look okay as of right now. That can always change if something blossoms overnight, but I think that's going to be the trend. A lot of these are going to be diurnally driven, so they're driven by the daytime heating, okay? But that's kind of what the HER says. But in terms of severe weather tonight, because that's really what I want to focus on, it brings some good storms through here, but nothing crazy. The one thing I want to check, and I have not checked this yet, but let's look at the Cape. Let's see if it brings it in here. So it does. So it brings a sliver of it. So this is that the energy in the atmosphere, right? And you can see how we've got nothing now. So it initializes nicely. And then it increases that Cape over the next couple hours so that we do have some instability to work with. And I agree with that. I just think it's a little bit overdone. And then tomorrow there's a little bit. But notice it's nothing like what's going on tonight. Tonight, there's really good energy. We don't really get back to that. So there's not a huge severe threat the next couple days after we get through tonight. All right, other model I want to show you is the NAM-NEST. This one brings in some Cape as well. Again, this is instability. There's a lot right now, and it kind of weakens as it moves in, but it does increase here locally. But let's go back to the radar, and this is what it's expecting. So the NAM-NEST has pretty good initialization with these two storms down here. NAM-NEST tends to overdo things sometimes, but I don't think it's doing that in this case. It brings a good line together. This is around 11 o'clock. And then you can see midnight 1, 2. And the reason why I'm showing Nam Nest, because normally I don't, is that I kind of like the Nam Nest. I kind of like what it looks like, where it has a decent line out towards our west. This is what's staring us in the face around midnight, 1 a.m. Okay. So it looks nasty, like something bad's coming in. And then watch out just weakens as it gets into that lower cape. So we get some heavy rain, we get some pockets of some stronger winds, all right, but nothing crazy. And then that moves through. That's out of here. Dry start tomorrow, dry midday, and then tomorrow evening we develop some storms. All right, I agree with that. And then Saturday we start dry, and then you can see we're just dealing with scattered downpours and a decent wind off the lake on Saturday. Not going to be the best of days, at least for boating and air shows and stuff like that. So that's kind of what we're looking at. All right. So that's all I have for you. That's my analysis for what's going to happen tonight. I'm not crazy about the severe weather chances here locally. All right. And that basically stems on the fact that I just don't, we're going to get unstable around here. That's going to move in. I'm just not blown away by the numbers. I think what we'll be dealing with this evening and overnight is going to be a line out towards the west that looks pretty ominous. So we're going to say, oh boy, here we go. And then I think that line will be weakening as it goes in. Damaging winds can't be ruled out. All right. That is our highest risk for anything tonight, in addition to heavy rain. But I don't see a full blown derecho or something with widespread damaging winds. They would be pockets, if anything. And I really feel like this line is going to be weakening as it moves in. Okay, so that's my meteorological take. Go ahead and ask your questions if you've got them. That's the whole point of Facebook Live and this whole program, is that you can ask questions to a very friendly meteorologist. Okay, that's awesome. DJ, thank you. Yeah, upgrade worked perfect. Isn't this nice? It's like live streaming. We don't have a lag. I feel like I could open like 400 new windows. Basically, what I ended up doing was I got a brand new hard drive. I had my laptop before. It didn't have enough RAM. I mean, to run programs nowadays, you need so much more RAM than what my 6-year-old laptop did. All right. And so as an upgrade, we got everything you need to run programs super fast. And that's where we're at right now. So I'm really excited to do severe weather coverage if we do get to that point, because before, live radar and tracking tornadoes and having NWS chat and having radars and Futurecasts open and the streaming process, it was a lot. It was a lot of bandwidth, but we're there. We're upgraded finally. So there's that. All right. Oh boy, Rhonda has a leaky roof. That's not good. But grass needs rain. I know, we go dry so fast. So there's that. Susan, it's going to cool down a little bit this weekend. It's still going to be kind of muggy around here. We'll see improving conditions on Sunday, but we'll likely be in the 70s both days, maybe near 80 on Saturday. It just depends on when the rain hits. Let me see the latest, because that was this morning's forecast. So let's take a look at the latest together here, and we'll pull up the HER. So here are your temperatures tomorrow. Near 80 or so. Wow, the HER really warms us up tomorrow. So it's got mid 80s, even upper 80s. So that's because we clear out. It thinks we're going to clear out for a while, which I agree with. So we'll go 80s tomorrow, but then we should be cooler Saturday still. Yes, we are. So this low pressure goes by. We're on the back side of it Saturday and Sunday. So we'll have a northwest flow. That's a cooling flow. So we'll be in the 70s on Saturday. And I've got 70s again on Sunday. All right. So not too bad in terms of temperatures. And we'll gradually bring in lower humidity as well. So there's that. All right. Justin, yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on severe weather chances tomorrow. So Storm Prediction Center has I believe, a marginal risk for tomorrow. Yeah, see how they kind of keep a marginal risk. So it's not a huge risk for severe weather tomorrow, but there is one. Any one of these storms, whenever you have a low pressure that's already spinning, you can get some squirrely storms, as I like to call them. They can get a little weird at times. So, I don't want to say, let's see if they don't have a tornado risk tomorrow. There's just not going to be enough instability to get the growth to the storms tomorrow. But yeah, we could get some weird storms over the next couple days. And I'm not saying everyone's going to see these, but any ones that do develop, especially Saturdays and even Sundays that come off the lake, could have some hail with them. They could have some ominous clouds with them as well, in addition to heavy rain. But I really think most hours are going to go dry this weekend. We're just going to have rounds of rain. It'll rain, then it'll be dry for a while. It'll rain, it'll be dry for a while. And I think most morning and midday and early afternoon hours are dry, most of them. All right. This is mainly going to be afternoon and evening that we're popping these storms. Okay. So there's that. Jeff, not a lot of rain. Probably my best guess would be maybe a half an inch of rain out of this tonight. Let's take a look at the modeling, though. I don't want to say that having not looked at it. Let's see what some of the models are saying. So, I mean, and it doesn't fall evenly, so there's that. So, it's saying anywhere from a quarter of an inch where it doesn't rain to, I mean, it's got over 2 inches of rain in areas of southern Lake County. Not saying that's accurate, right? But that's the potential. If we get a big storm through here, I could see us getting up to an inch of rain where that storm is. Most of us, I would say a quarter inch to a half inch ought to do it. All right. It just depends on how that line evolves and how much of it hits us. And there's going to be heavy spots with it. There's going to be spots where it's not heavy within it. That's just how weather works this time of year. The rain does not fall evenly. All right. But the atmosphere is pretty loaded with moisture. Our P watts or precipitable water values are pretty high today. They're, I think, 90 or 100. 90 to 95 percentile for this time of year. Taylor, that's a good question. What are the odds we will see tornado chances next couple months? Taylor, we've had weird weather really the last, at least in terms of my career, I think I'm 15 years into this right now. Last 6 or 7 years, we've had some weird tornado seasons, right? Where we can get tornadoes in November. We've had them in February. We get them in some weird months. And so I wouldn't rule out tornadoes really any month of the year. Even December, I wouldn't rule it out because sometimes in December we can get a quick day of 60s and 70s with higher dew points. We get severe weather event and it's snowing that night. So, there's always a chance for tornadoes here any month. It just depends on the pattern, depends on the front. And we need two things. We need warm, moist air out of the Gulf of Mexico, and we need some kind of cold splash to be coming in from the northwest. That's all it takes. Dave says we need more rain. We certainly do, Dave. We certainly do. It dries out so fast this time of year, I'll tell you. You're welcome, Linda. Thank you. I will. Janet, thanks for the update saying 0.4 of an inch in Wheatfield South. There you go. Hopefully some more coming out of that. That 0.4 of an inch isn't going to do a whole lot, but certainly better than nothing, right? Taylor, you're welcome for sure. Yep, no problem. All right. Cindy, thank you. I will. All right. I think that's about it, guys. So again, just for my radar junkies out there, this is what we're going to be watching in Iowa. Remember, they've got a much different atmosphere in Iowa right now than we do locally. We've had rain. We have clouds just kind of hanging out. We haven't become unstable at all. So what we're going to be relying on over the next 6 hours or so before these storms get here is we're going to be relying on the wind to blow in basically more unstable air, okay? Our atmosphere above us isn't going to do it itself. So we will become more unstable, all right, now that the front is through. I don't think it's going to go off the charts, but overnight tonight, again, I would say anytime after 11 p.m., just to be safe, through 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, that's going to be our window of time that we're going to be watching for those storms out towards the west to move through, okay? Heavy rain, I think, is going to be our primary threat. May look really nasty on radar as it's moving in. I do expect it to start weakening as it moves in. Doesn't mean we can't get some strong winds out of it in pockets, okay? I don't think it's going to be widespread for everyone, but it's definitely going to be a night. We'll need to keep our eye on the radar for sure and know that this is something we're going to see moving in from the west versus something that's popping over us. We'll be able to track this in, okay? All right, so there's that. Blake, I feel like they're kind of low. They're not zero, and the chances are there for Northwest Indiana. But I'm not overly impressed with the severe weather chances tonight, just because we've been locked into the clouds and the rain much earlier today for a little bit longer than, what would be needed to produce a robust severe weather event tonight. So, Blake, I think we'll have severe weather moving in from the west. I do anticipate it weakening as it moves in, but some of those could still be on the stronger side as they're weakening as they move in, okay? Hopefully that makes sense. Hi, Jennifer from Portage. Thanks for joining us. All right, that's all I got for you tonight, guys. So again, we'll get through it. All right, I don't think it's going to be something that needs to be blown out of proportion. So you may be getting that from other sources, but certainly not from us. But we'll keep an eye on it for sure. And tomorrow we'll probably start clear, or not clear, but dry, and we'll spend much of the day dry, and then we'll deal with more storms later tomorrow afternoon and evening as it looks right now, okay? Pretty much same thing for the weekend, too. The low pressure is just kind of hanging out. Hopefully we can get it out of here on Sunday, okay? All right, you guys have a wonderful night. Appreciate you spending time with me and taking time out of your busy schedules. I know a lot of stuff going on at this hour, so I do appreciate that. All right, stay tuned, guys. Regionweather.com will be on the radio side of things in the morning as well. So